Hello everyone and welcome to another Star Wars Battlefront video. Today we're going to take a look at which platform should you buy Star Wars Battlefront on. Now we're going to start out this by saying that the PC version is the superior version of the three, okay? The PlayStation 4 version will run at 900p natively, upscales it to 1080p. At 60 frames per second. The Xbox One version will run it at 720p, again upscales to 1080p, and will run at 60 frames per second. Your PC, of course, mileage may vary depending on your system, but however, most systems should be able to run the game at least on medium settings at 60 FPS. You shouldn't really need a hugely high system, okay? Bear in mind, if you've got less than 2 gigs of video RAM and you've got less than 8 gigabytes of system RAM, then it's probably time for an upgrade anyway these days. It's 2015. Most PC games, 8 gig of RAM is okay for most games. It does require 16, or it says it requires 16, but that is bullshit, to be honest with you. I've ran it at Ultra and it only uses 6.5 gigabytes of system RAM. So I would suggest that the rule of thumb should be, if your PC can run it at medium or higher at 60 frames per second, you should, at 1080p we'll say, then you should get the PC version. Okay, the PC version is the superior version. In terms of visuals, it is. It's going to run 1080p, it'll run, 1440p if you've got the graphics card to run it, 1440p, 4K. I haven't seen anyone running it at 4K, to be honest with you, but I assume it will run at 4K if you've got a GTX Titan Z with 12 gigabytes of VRAM. Have fun with that, have fun running it at 4K is all I can say. So I guess it will maybe run, so I can't really speak for resolutions higher. I've seen it running at 1440p. It looks fine. I run at 1080p, ultra settings, get 40 to 60 FPS. I can run it at high settings, and I get 60 FPS at high settings. High settings for me looks great. Looks better than the console. Medium settings look better than the console as well, in my opinion. I've ran it at medium, I've ran it at low. Low looks pretty good as well, but if you're struggling to get 60 FPS at sort of medium or low settings, then I'd consider the console version. So if you have a choice which platform to go for, again, if you can run it at high, medium or higher at 60 FPS, the PC version is the version to get, but it is quite well optimized on PC as well. I haven't seen whether it's going to have Mantle support at launch or not for the AMD cards. I don't know whether it'll have DirectX 12 support, who knows, but the beta runs DirectX 11. So it probably will get DirectX 12 support at some point in its lifetime, I mean, because DirectX 12 is coming out soon, isn't it? It's coming out in November or something, DirectX 12, around about when this game launches. I wouldn't expect DirectX 12 support at launch, because it's too new, I guess. It's both the game's new and the API is new, so I'd probably maybe expect DirectX 12 support in 2016. So maybe it'll take advantage of lower hardware, lower end systems then, but until then, DirectX 11 is what we had in the beta, so we have to view our performance benchmarks on DirectX 11. That's all we can really do for now. So again, 60 FPS or higher on medium or higher, then go medium set it, then go for the PC version. If you're gonna go console, there's not much to choose visually between the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Personally, I don't notice a huge difference, to be honest with you, while playing it. The PS4 does run at a slightly higher resolution. It doesn't make a huge difference while you're playing it. What's more important is the frame rate rather than the resolution. Obviously, we'd like to see the so-called next-gen consoles be able to run 1080p, 60 FPS. Really, they should be, really. They call themselves next-gen systems, and, the PC hands down wins in terms of resolution and frame rate. On the console, it's like, you've got a choice between resolution or frame rate, and there's a debate between console players. Oh, resolution's better. Oh, frame rate's better. Frame rate is better, ultimately. But on the PC, we were sitting going, what? Frame rate, resolution, we got them both. 1080p, 60 FPS, no problem. Most mid-range PCs handle that no problem. 1080p, 60 FPS, you don't have to spend a fortune, but if you are playing on console, then it's really up to you, really. The difference is 720p and 900p is barely noticeable. They both run really well. They both run at 60 FPS. I tried Sullust, Hoth, what was it, Tatooine as well. Get a bit of texture pop in on the PS4 and the Xbox One. Bit of shadow pop in. Sometimes the shadows don't load right on the Xbox One, but it is fairly minor. It takes like a second or two for the shadows to pop in. I didn't notice it on the PS4. There's also lack of anti-aliasing on the consoles as well. But if you absolutely are getting it on consoles, you're not getting a dramatically inferior game. It is inferior visually, but it's not as though it's, oh my god, it's unplayable on console. 720p is unplayable. No, it's still going to run at 60 FPS. It's still going to run smoothly. And that's the most important thing, is it's going to be smooth. The online experience, again, just depends what you prefer. The PlayStation Network tends to be always down. How do you tell if the PlayStation Network's going to be down? Well, if the day of the week ends in a Y, then yeah, it's probably going to be down. So maybe Xbox Live is maybe a little bit more stable. I never really noticed any huge differences while playing online. For both of them, they played fine, playing via Xbox Live and PSN. I never really noticed a huge difference, so then again, it's up to you. Get it for whatever platform you want. There is not a huge difference between both of the console platforms, in my opinion anyway. Some people say, oh my god, I can't play it at 720p. It's fine, it's okay. The important thing is, in the middle of Hoth, when you're getting shot in the back by some kid, you know, the resolution doesn't matter. Okay, you don't care. Some kid, some racist music blaring, crappy music blaring kid calling you the F word, which by the way means cigarette in Scotland. You know, someone called me a fag once. There you go, I'll say it. Called me a fag. What? I'm a cigarette. You know what that means in Scotland, don't you? You know, so I'm just saying, if you live in Scotland, don't go to America and say, have you got any fags? Different connotations, okay? Different connotations. If you go to the deep south and say, hey buddy, you got any fags? Bad. You'll get killed. Just saying. They got guns in America because, you know, they're pussies and that, you know, guns. Fucking need guns for fucking headbutt them, man. You don't need fucking guns. There's no gun massacres in Scotland, man. There's a lot of riots, but we don't use guns. We ain't pussies. It takes away the personal touch, of course. You know? So there you go. So don't say those things. So that was the first time I ever got called that. Where they're like, what? What does that mean? I'm a cigarette? Because that's what it means. That's what it means in Scotland. And in England as well, it means same thing. In the UK, should we point out that fag is a cigarette in Scotland, whereas fag in America is something totally different. So there you go. This has wandered off topic into, you know, into languages, and I like the difference between our languages. There you go. Just warning you when you go to America, and if you call someone who's not an American that word, then of course, you know, Xbox Live, that's what it is. It's the home of racist 10-year-olds. You know, racist 10-year-old Americans, who I assume will be fat. Let's assume they'll be fat, to be honest. They're Americans. It's a good chance they are. I say that we're probably the second. I say that Americans are fat. We are actually one of the fattest nations on earth in Scotland. We deep fry Mars bars. Like, we get bars of chocolate and we will deep fry them. And put batter on them as well. So, yeah, this is the home of the deep fried Mars bar. So, pot kettle, essentially. Calling Americans fat. As someone who's Scottish, really, when we deep fry Mars bars, and are the liver failure capital of Western Europe. There you go. So there you go. There you go. There's another little fact for you. So there you go. This has wandered way off topic. Get back to Battlefront. Conclusion: PC above medium settings or higher, 60 FPS. Get it on PC. The glorious master race wins again. PS4, Xbox One. Flip a coin, take your pick. Doesn't really matter. They're both very similar. So anyway, that is all for this video. thank you for joining me. I will see you again soon. And go Google deep fried Mars bars. Google it, and you'll see how unhealthy we are. So thank you for joining me, and goodbye.